Alright, here is that video as promised. I'm going to press the play button right now, and we're going to get this on the ball. Hello everybody. With me right now is Andrew Peter Gannon. Ganong is how you pronounce your last name. And Andrew has some talking points about corruption going on with the pilot fire and the Blue Cut fire. And before we get started, I just want you to give us a couple of minutes listing what you do as a as a job and your experience in forestry firefighting, etc.
Okay. I started a little company named A1 Forest Protection, and I do fire clearance and cleanup. And I started the company because I saw a lot of corruption in the Blue Cut fire after the Blue Cut fire, and it hurts my heart to see an insurance company come in and the contractors tripling and quadrupling their prices because the insurance company is here. I had a fire captain that I work for from CAL FIRE tell me that there's money to be made up here, and I'm really good at my job, and it's what I do at a place called Chevron Canada Limited.
Were you a smoke jumper?
I was a smoke jumper at Chevron Canada Limited. I've been doing it since 2009 on this stint, and I've been doing it since I was 18 years old. In Montana, I was trained in Montana and British Columbia. I've been all over the world. I've been to 131 countries. I have certifications. I'm a registered EMT. I'm a safety officer, transportation supervisor at Chevron Canada Limited. I'm a safety officer at Chevron Canada LLC.
How long have you been fighting fires?
I was a wildland firefighter officially when I was 19 years old until I was 26. I worked 11 western states and Michigan and Illinois. I've been a logger on top of that, logging in the logging industry since I was 18 to 26. I did local jobs. We did all the hella logging for a company named AFP, which is Auberry Forest Products.
Do you have any affiliation with the prisoners up at the pilot fire camp? Do you like show them what to do? Or?
I do. We when I worked for AFP, we were the trainers, which basically they have a corrections officer and 6 crew members, which are convicted felons, and they're working out their time. So when they get done with their time, instead of making $1.47 and $1.47 an hour, a day, they're making about $147 a day. And then when they come to work for me, they make $500 a day. So that's a pretty good job to have right out of prison.
Okay, so we can definitely say that you have a lot of experience in firefighting and fire clearance and cleanup and all that kind of stuff, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So moving on to the pilot fire, you suspect that it was started from the actual pilot fire camp?
Yes, sir. It's called Pilot Rock Camp. I actually got an alert on my phone, and I still have alerts from Chevron Canada, and the alert stated that the fire was started by a car fire. And looking into it more, I happened to go to the Pilot Rock camp while the fire was burning, because I had volunteered my truck and my time to go up and get horses from Crestline, because they were clearing Crestline, because I thought the fire was going to sweep through Crestline and go through Arrowhead. So we took a team of 3 trucks up there and trailers and got on the backside of Lake Arrowhead, and Pilot Rock Camp is there, and I know a few guys that have worked with me before there on the crew, so I stopped in to see what was going on, and I saw a burnout car right in the middle of the parking lot. And I just happened to ask one of the guys, is that where the fire started? Because I heard it started out on the road. And he goes, no, that was it. Started right here in camp. Well, it's kind of funny that it started right there in camp, and there's 17 of the world's greatest firefighters in that camp when there's no fire. So
you're talking about how there was a 60-foot wide,
60 to 65 foot wide swath straight up the south slope of the hill behind Pilot Rock Camp. That's impossible.
Yeah, you were saying that in all your days of fire experience that you never seen a straight line.
Never have. I've been doing this for a long time.
And you were saying that would take some kind of igniter to create that?
That is a complete impossibility. You can ask anybody that's ever been a wildland firefighter. I don't care if they were the janitor. I mean, the wind is documented coming from the north, which is sweeping over the top of that hill towards Crestline, and it was going to go straight up the road. How does a fire start at the bottom of a hill, jump a building, make a 62, 63 foot wide swath straight up a hill and end up on the other side of the hill without burning that whole entire hill? Because the wind at the top would create a vacuum which would blow that fire out to the sides.
Okay, and you were talking about the reasons that you think that fire could have been started, and you were talking about how there's a lot of prisoners there that are doing their time for murder, and they're criminals, so I mean it wouldn't take too much for them to start a car fire to keep something going. Is that what you were stating? That possibility when the prisoners set that on fire? Or?
Well, there was a fire in, I believe, 2004 or 2005 in White Mountain in Big Bear, and it was the White Mountain fire, which had a lot to do with the fire that swept through Cedar Glen up by Lake Arrowhead. And it was what they call an after fire, so there's been one or two fires, and then there's more fires, and then the news media gets bored, and everybody gets bored, so they want more fire and more overtime, so stuff starts. So,
one of the things that you were talking about was a Tapestry housing project in Summit Valley, and you were thinking possibly that there were some reasons that this fire might have been started to take out that housing project.
Well, it isn't made to take out the housing project per se. It's, my belief is, Summit Valley is a very close-knit community that shows up at every city meeting. They show up at every city meeting in City of Hesperia, because the housing project is actually at the bottom of City of Hesperia, and Hesperia has the tax base for it. So, at the city meetings that I attended, everybody from Summit Valley is up in arms about how they want them out, and they're offered to buy them out. And some of these people have owned their property in their family for 150 years. Why would they want to leave that? And then their big complaint is, why do we want a strip mall and a high school right across? We don't want housing. It's Summit Valley. It's out in the country. It's supposed to be Silverwood Lake. It's this people. In 2007 they tried to burn them out. In 2005 they tried to burn them out. In 2003 they tried to burn them out. It's a thing. Now Tapestry Project is here all of a sudden again, because they were here in the mid 90s before 90, when Hesperia wasn't even a city. Hesperia was not even a city. It was an incorporated district. And then, conveniently, Tapestry Project, from what I heard, I went down to the Lions Club and I was talking to some of the older guys that have lived in Hesperia for 100 years, and they're telling me the Tapestry Project is a big tax problem because Tapestry gave them, I want to say 1989, but somewhere around there.
Okay.
The city of Hesperia was given $3 million by the Tapestry Project to start the Tapestry Project so they would straighten out the 138. All of a sudden, in our newspaper right now, the 138's getting straightened out. Well, how is the 138 getting straightened out when City of Hesperia is ready to file bankruptcy and we don't have any money to fix our own roads?
Okay. I want to move on to one of the biggest things that disturbed me that I heard, and it's a shocker for the world, and that would be that you have some really big allegations that you witnessed President Obama give the head of FEMA 100 and was it 25 or 45 million dollars for Blue Cut Fire and Pilot Fire victims?
It was $145 million on a handshake.
And this happened
to the FEMA director about 3 days before the Blue Cut Fire was
contained.
100% contained.
Okay. And you said at this meeting there was roughly around 45 fire personnel?
Fire entities, so
entities.
it could be from any fire district that just happened to be in the area because firefighters like food and it was at a diner. So
okay, and this was done at a diner, so you're basically you said basically one of your firefighting friends who's a captain told you that you were going to witness some Obama today, and basically said, you know, you want to go see Obama, and you were like, you know, well, why the hell not, you know, and you went and you checked it out, and it just so happened that, you know, all these fire personnel are basically at a restaurant. You guys are, you know, grubbing down, and you heard Obama tell the FEMA, did they stop everybody, and because I thought you said maybe they stopped everybody from talking, and then they...
Well, I heard
they made an announcement, or...
Yeah, I heard on the table or something, and the talking started, and we heard a little bit of preview that I don't even know who was talking. It was some guy, and there's no microphones, no anything. It's just said open word, and they said that Obama just happened to be in town doing fundraising for Hillary, and the fire just happened to be going, and he wanted to make sure that he got the time in with the guys to show them that he really cared, and he's still thinking about us in California. And the numbers I heard was $145 million in a handshake for the Blue Cut and Pilot Fire victims.
You hear that, folks?
The people.
Okay, and whenever the government gives that much money to FEMA,
$145
is that like in the form of a grant?
million.
Yeah, there's a process you have to go through to get the money, and it's kind of like you got to understand where the money comes from. The money comes from a slush fund in the United States that has to do with like the Hurricane Sandy and the thing that happened down in the Gulf Coast. That's all the same money. It's disaster money. Once FEMA gets involved, it's all about how to get the money to the people, because you got to understand the firefighters are still going to get paid the same amount of money they make because they get paid by the government anyway.
Now, was this publicized to the public that Obama showed up at this diner and gave $145 million to FEMA for the Blue Cut Fire victims?
I want to say that I saw on Channel 5 or Channel 9, the local stuff, that I saw it on the ticker tape at the bottom of the TV. And I thought, you know, hell, I might be on TV, who knows? And it was just, I saw it there, and then I saw a little stint in the newspaper, but it wasn't our newspaper. It was like my buddy gets the Riverside Free Press or whatever the hell it is. He goes, hey, look, they got the $145 million thing you said you saw. And I said, yeah, it's supposed to be on a $2 billion thing for California. And he said, well, what's that mean? And I said, because supposedly the government has given California, through like Jerry Brown or whatever, $2 billion for all the fires that has happened in California this year.
We need
and
verification,
145
guys.
million of it
Look it
is
up,
for
research it.
the high desert.
Okay. And how far away from you, or how do I say it, how far away was Obama, President Obama, and this, I guess, director of FEMA, or whatever position they held, how far were they from you whenever you were eating?
8 feet.
8 feet? And they did knock on the table to make an announcement to the diner with all the fire personnel in there. And they announced that, or President Barack Obama announced that the $145 million check that he was given to FEMA in front of everybody was for the Blue Cup fire victims, as well as the pilot fire victims specifically?
Correct.
Okay. That's just, it's unheard of, so the public needs to know that, because there's a lot of people that know that the United Way has a couple of $1 million, but nobody's heard anything like $145 million.
Well, the reason that I decided to do this and blow the whistle or tell everybody what's going on is because I have told a couple of people, because I do insurance jobs through my own company, and I'm not here to promote me, I'm here to help everybody else out, because the problem is, I went to my captain, and I said, my captain at CAL FIRE, and I said, hey, you guys haven't even set up a website yet. The fire's been contained for almost 7 days. They only have 92 days to get that money.
92